Greetings all, it's the Devious Monkey here on Wednesday late afternoon. It's a little bit after 3. It's awful out. It has been pissing rain since last night, like hard rain, and it just comes and goes. It's incredibly windy to the point where it just sounds like shit's just slamming into the house. And I feel bad because there were a couple of mourning doves that clearly, you know, they hopped on the windowsill and they were just looking at me like, dude, let me in. It sucks out here. I have been inside and I've just been doing day job stuff all day. I went through all my emails because they build up in the blink of an eye. Just one by one started taking care of things that needed to, you know, to be done before I moved the email into its proper folder. So I got a lot of shit done. Also, yesterday, I didn't bother to do a video because I didn't want to. It got to a point where by the time I was done doing day job shit, it was like freaking 10 to 8 and I hadn't finished a video, I hadn't edited anything, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. If you've been following me for the past few months, I've been cleaning house, literally and figuratively, getting rid of a lot of gear that I don't need, taking shit to the pawn shop and getting rid of stuff. I got rid of guns, I've gotten rid of knives. I got to get rid of that shit in the freaking garage, but it's torrential downpour storming, and I don't know how much longer that's going to last. And taking pictures of stuff and having people come to the house when it's nasty like this and getting it moved out probably ain't going to happen. So I am, again, continuing the onslaught of getting rid of shit and getting myself down to a bare minimum of things so that I can do what I want to do, and that's it. Your shit in your eye. Lovely day, such a lovely day. Since I don't have the ND filter on, you can't see the difference in the clouds, but there's a lot of clouds up there. And it's not raining at the moment, so yay. So I had an odd thing happen yesterday. It's probably another reason why I didn't post anything. We went and picked strawberries this weekend. For some unknown reason, while I was going out and grabbing a couple of strawberries to cut up and put in my breakfast, it sparked a memory from a long time ago when I was a little one. And my mother used to, like every year when we got strawberries, she would make strawberry pie. Of course, unlike any other pie ever created. And I used to love those pies. And as I was cutting those strawberries up, it transported me back decades ago to having a piece of strawberry pie that my mother made. And all of a sudden I just got horribly sad that my mother isn't here anymore. Now keep in mind, my mother passed away a long time ago. You know, given that my dad passed away just in, you know, last December, you'd think that would be the more pressing, sad memory for me, but just, I don't know. It was the weirdest thing that out of the blue, I just got this awful sadness that my mother wasn't here and that I'll never get to have strawberry pie again, not like hers. And yes, it makes a difference. No, I'm not gonna try to recreate it with a recipe. Doesn't work that way. Just like I can never have stuffed peppers again because they're my father's stuffed peppers, things like that. And it just made me sad. But then it also, you know, eventually I deconstruct that in myself because, you know, as people have told me, I'm a heartless, emotionless bastard and a, what was it? An emotionless bastard and a heartless machine. So I was deconstructing what prompted that memory and the subsequent sadness that came with it. And I mean, I can't explain it, you know. How can I, you know, explain emotion when I'm an emotionless bastard? But it was just the weirdest thing. And when shit like that happens, you know, I'm always like, then I turn inwards and I start thinking about shit and I deconstruct it and try to figure things out and all that kind of crap. And, you know, just like with my health, I'm calling it like, all right, why the hell did I stay up all night peeing every half an hour? What did I do different? You know, like everything like that. That's what goes through my monkey brain, which is why a lot of times I'm stymied into not doing anything because I'm stuck inside my own freaking melon trying to figure shit out. And I waste too much time trying to figure it out rather than just moving on. Okay, we started talking about strawberries and how'd we end up here? But that's why I didn't post anything yesterday, really. You know, I got caught up in that cycle inside my melon, and then at that point, I just didn't have it in me to bother even trying to put together a shitty video. I'm just curious, do you guys experience this as well? Have you, out of the blue, over a decade later, thought about somebody and then we're just smacked gobsmacked with sadness, or not necessarily sadness, but happiness, because that shit happens too. You know, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I mean, sometimes I smell something. I mean, to this day, I can smell, we'll just say fresh cut grass, but not necessarily fresh cut grass. If you're next to a field with a bunch of wild grass, it's got that sweet smell. And if you've never experienced that, I'm sorry for you. You probably live in some shitty city. But smelling that has literally transported me like 50 years ago to being in Japan and smelling that smell. And that blows me away, how powerful that is. That lock that was clicked by a smell from 5 decades ago that made me jump back to that time and smell that and be in that place where I originally smelled it. That kind of shit fascinates me to no end. How many times do I bitch and complain? I freaking went to Harris Teeter yesterday to get bagels, and I walked out and got everything but the damn bagels. Like, I literally couldn't remember, and I was going there specifically for that. But yet, I can fucking cut a strawberry and think about a pie I had 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you know, shit like that. Or I can smell grass that triggers a memory from 50 years ago. Isn't that weird? I sit here and I try to think of somebody from college. Can't remember their name. Can picture their face. Can't remember their name. And it starts to freak me out too, because, you know, they say the mind's always the first thing to go. And pretty soon I'm going to be a slobbering old fool and I can't remember shit. It's another reason why I diverge off into all these different areas of trying new things, getting new gear, learning a new system, learning a new piece of equipment, learning a new piece of software, going someplace I've never been before and exploring and trying to create a memory there. Because I want to use my mind so that I can figure out, or hopefully trigger the memory so that I can remember something without like feeling like Henry Fonda in On Golden Pond when I can't remember how the fuck to get home. You know, I mean, shit like that. So, all right, I've gone all over the place here. I'm just rambling because I've been thinking about it since yesterday. Does that happen to you? Do weird smells, sounds, tastes, sensations or whatever make you think of something from way the hell in your past and you're like, where the hell did that come from? Or is it just me? I'm sure it's not just me. I'm just interested in that kind of shit. Sift through the sadness and go behind that and try to figure out like why the hell that happened. What triggered it? How can I trigger it again? Or how can I not trigger it again if it's a particularly horrible memory? You know, things like that. So let me know. Okay, onwards. All right, kids, I'm gonna end this video right now with not so much a rant, but a WTF. So I have all of these little Aperture MC lights, and here's what I'm finding. I look incredibly warm, and I still think I do, although I have them all set to 5600, but look at the difference, if you can see it, between the silicone covers. This is the one that was on the editing one right there, and I was like, why the hell do I look so warm? It's set to 5600, and then I grabbed one of these from over there because this is the one that I've been using when I'm sitting in the Pope chair, and I think I look normal. And then I held them up, and I realized, Jesus, this thing's like almost morning pea yellow. It's like ridiculous. It is so discolored, and it never leaves this office. So I don't understand. Look at the difference, how discolored this is. I mean, it's almost brown on that plane, and it's nasty. I don't understand why. That's enough of that shit. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get up tomorrow morning, I'm gonna send out the mail merges that I wanna send out and get all that shit done, and then I'm gonna grab my camera and maybe a drone, because it's showing 15 miles per hour tomorrow. That's not too bad. It's when you get up to 20, 25 miles an hour that flying the drone is just a no-go. So I don't know. I'm just gonna take my stuff tomorrow since it's gonna be nice and I haven't taken any pictures. I know I've been whining about that. I have not been out much at all. It's already going on the end of May. I mean, this weekend is Memorial Day weekend, the official start of summer, and I have barely gone out to get pictures. I gotta stop that shit. I also kind of miss street photography like I used to do back when I was in Chicago, when I first started doing photography. We'll see what's happening, but I've got the itch to get out there and just start shooting. And I need to share more because I take pictures all the time and just don't post them anywhere. And shame on me, like what's the point? Enough ranting and raving. That's all you get for today. So if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them down below. As always, thanks for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, kids, forward and up.